Hey everybody, welcome to Monster Draws. This is your host, the Monster Drawer, or you can call me Monster Draws or Monster Man, whatever you want to call me is fine. I have a really special drawing for you guys today. This is going to be another wizard. You know, I did my mushroom wizard the first Monster Draws episode. This is going to be a candle wizard. I did get a request to do a frog genie this video, but I think that will actually be my next video because I already had this one planned out. So my nephew requested the frog genie, but it'll have to wait for 1 week. Sorry, buddy. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on this candle wizard. I've always liked to draw like magical things, magical people, magical objects. So I've always been attracted to drawing wizards. So we're going to start with the hat. So for this hat, we're going to make a line coming like this. It's going to curve up like that, and then it's going to be a big curve back there. Pretty sharp curve here. And then it's going to come up like this and down again. Okay. This is going to be the brim of the hat. So we're going to just add another line like this, just along the top of it here. It's going to come down over here and connect to there. And then we'll draw like the cone part coming off the top. But before we do that, I want to draw like a band around it. So I'm going to just make some wiggly lines here and here. That's going to make it look like it's kind of wrinkled. And then you can add different stuff like tucked into the band. Like maybe I want to do like he has a flower tucked into it or something like that. So you can make whatever you want. Maybe I'll draw a couple little blades of grass or something. And then I can finish off with those lines. And if you put some lines in here like this, just kind of some lines and wiggly lines, it makes it look more like it's got wrinkles in the fabric. Okay, so now we're going to draw the cone part. And it's going to be kind of drooping over. So it's going to be coming up like that. And this one will be more straight. Because what I want to do is I want to bend it down like that. So if we imagine that this is bending over, there'd be a fold right here. So I'm just going to draw a little line to make that fold. And then we'll go like this. And now I want it to be bending back up. So same thing we did here, but it's going to be going upwards instead. So I'm going to make a little line like that. And then it's going to be coming up. And since he's a candle, I figure we could put like the end could be a little wick like a candle has. So if you've ever looked really close at a burnt candle wick, it has this kind of frayed texture because it's like a string, and when it burns, it becomes unraveled and frayed. So I'm going to draw these little lines in there to show where it hasn't been burned yet. And then this is where it's burning, so it'll be more frayed. And we'll just draw like a little flame up there like that. Okay, cool. I just want to add a few more details to the hat. I'm going to give some like patches, like he's burned his hat a lot and he needs to keep repairing it. So we'll put a couple little patches on here, which are just like rectangles. And then to show where the patches are sewn on, you just do those little lines. Okay, now we are ready to draw the candle wizard himself. So I like to imagine like that the candle is like wax dripping down. So I'm going to start in here and I'm just going to do these kind of drippy, waxy, blobby things coming down. And if you want to make them look shiny, you can put these other shapes inside of them. That will make it look like the wax is kind of shiny, like the light is reflecting off of it. Okay, now for the candle, I want to make it, I'm going to have his body, I'm going to make him kind of like a curved candle. Like he's kind of moving this direction. So maybe I want it like that. And then I can go ahead and I just want to add more of these little drips. Just do the last little corrections that I need to do. Okay, so we've got this guy now. I imagine him having this face with these big eyes. There's this show on when I was a kid called Digimon. And I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I always remembered this one guy in it. His name was Candlemon. And he had these big eyes like this, and he was kind of like a melted candle, kind of like this guy. And then we'll give him like a little mouth like that. I'm going to add some lower eyelids like that by making those little lines. And maybe we'll give him some irises. I don't think I'm going to give him pupils, just irises. Maybe I'll add pupils later. Okay, and I want him to be like, I'm going to draw his arm over here with these two curved lines. I want him to be like wearing a magical bracelet or something, so I'm going to make these curved lines like this. I'll put these circles on it. If you guys ever need to pause the video and see what I'm doing, or fast forward or go back and rewatch something, please do. I know I go kind of fast, that's to keep the video kind of short, but if you need to, please go back and you can rewatch stuff if you need to. So for his thumb, I went straight up and then I curved it around almost a complete oval, but I didn't connect it at the very end there. And I'm going to make his fingers like this, just big, long, kind of shaped like a hot dog, I guess. I'm going to give him 3 fingers. He's kind of going like this with his hand, and like I'll have some fire coming out of it. There. Gonna add a line like that. Okay, I like that. I'll add the fire a little later. I kind of want to get his body done first. And I want him to kind of look like he's has some fancy wizard robe on or something like that. So maybe I want to do, let's see, his other arm's going to come out like right here. But maybe I want to like give him a little shoulder pad there. And I just drew over his body. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll fix it later. And since this arm, I want this arm to be coming like towards the viewer. So you can see when something is farther away, it looks smaller. See, if I move this hand towards the camera, it's getting bigger and bigger. So I'm having this arm kind of extend forward. Although it's flat, it's the illusion that it's coming forward, right? So I want the arm to get slightly bigger as it comes towards us. Because in this arm, I'm going to use the same trick for the thumb that I did over here. But in this hand, I want him to have he's going to have a closed fist because he's going to be holding like a wizard staff. So for the fingers, I did these 3 bumps. Actually, that one. There. I made another mistake, but that's okay. Mistakes happen. I'll fix this out later. Figure out something to do with it. So I'm going to draw the wizard staff like he's holding it. And you can design your wizard staff however you want. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. You can absolutely pause and go back and see what I've done, or you can just make up your own. I thought it would be kind of cool to have like a candle on his staff as well. And maybe I want like I like to have wizards have crystals, so maybe there'll be a crystal here on the bottom. And a candle up here on the top, and it's going to be dripping wax. So I'm doing that kind of bumpy line. And then up at the top here, I'm going to draw like another bumpy line. And we'll draw the wick inside. For that, we're just going to do a little line because it's not as big as this one, so we don't have to draw the texture and stuff for it. So we'll just make it look like that. And we'll add a little flame on it. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we'll add some little sparkles around the crystal here. Okay, maybe sparkles around here too. I think that would look nice. And then maybe I want to add like a grippy texture on here. Excuse me. So what do you think this guy's name should be, or what do you think his story should be? I kind of imagine him as he was like a candle on a wizard's workbench in like his magical laboratory, and one day the wizard was like messing around and he accidentally turned him to life. I'm gonna make some more wax dripping down to like give him some hair. I just thought of that, like give him some hair by making those pieces of wax drip down behind his head. Okay, and then to finish off this hand, just going like that. Okay. Cool. I really like how this guy is turning out so far. I think for this shoulder pad here, I'm just going to draw a little circle. This is just an easy way to make like something that looks like armor or something that's connected. I'm going to go like this too. I'm going to make it a little 3D by kind of filling that in black a little bit. See, that looks a little bit more 3D now. And then maybe I'll just put a line on it, kind of a V-shaped line right here. And that will kind of hide that I drew it right over the line for his body. Not completely, but it hides it a little bit. So then I guess I'll have him have like a sash. So from that circle, I'm going to draw 2 lines down like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the hat here. I'm going to make a wiggly line. And then I can kind of just add these directional lines inside. And that makes it look like it's got wrinkles in it. Maybe I want him to have like a little magical pouch. This is like a pouch hanging on his side. Like this is kind of like his belt, I guess. So he'll just have a little like pouch here hanging on the side. That's where he keeps his magical ingredients and stuff. And then let's see. I'm gonna make him kind of like dripping wax on the bottom too, I think, because you know in candles the wax kind of drips down and kind of pools at the bottom as well. So I think that'll be a good way to kind of transition into his feet here. So I'm gonna make him just have this dripping wax. I'm kind of gonna make it look like he's walking, so I'm gonna kind of try to make the drips go this way, like he's really moving quickly or something. And we'll put the little lines or the little shapes for the reflections there. This kind of looks like a toenail here. That's kind of funny. It looks like he's got dripping wax and then a big toe. Okay, now for his legs, I'm just going to give him like walking legs. So to do that, I'm going to start here. I'm going to make a little line here. It's going to be behind the wax, so it's going to come down like this. Because this is the leg that's going forward as he's walking. And I want him to have like boots, so I'm going to do the same trick I did here, where I'm doing the curved lines. This is like the top of the boot. It's going to be the same pattern as this one. And we'll kind of give it like a little bit of a wavy line like I did here and here to show it's kind of wrinkly. And this one will show the bottom of the boot like that. Okay. That looks pretty good. And then for his other leg, we'll have it coming down like this. And this is going to curve the other way because this one that's coming towards us, our view would be looking at this top of the boot. The curve would be facing away from us. This one, the curve is facing towards us because of the angle of the leg. Excuse me, I keep having to clear my throat. Okay. And if you need to pause and watch where I'm making the lines, or rewind and watch where I'm making the lines, please do that. I know I'm not explaining every little step, but if you want to do that, you sure can. I'm just gonna add some more little details. Like maybe I want him to have a belt on here with some like diamonds encrusted in it. Or maybe I want him to like he's melting so the wax is actually dripping off of him. That might be kind of cool too. Maybe another one here. So just kind of have fun with it. Doesn't have to look exactly like mine. I love when I see people make ideas that I didn't ever think of. So make it your own, you know. I saw my nephew did the hamburger from last week, 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. And he really made it look different than mine, but it still looked really awesome. So it's really cool when I see people make a similar one, but they add their own style to it. They add their own twist to it. And I want it to be like blasting fire out here. Maybe it's like a fiery wave. So this whole side is going to be like a big flame. And I like to do these little like embers coming off the flame. To draw fire, a lot of people think it's quite hard, but it's actually pretty simple. You just have to make wiggly lines, but they're pointy at the end. I'll show you what I mean. Maybe I'll get a separate paper here really quick to show you some fire. So I'm gonna put this aside for just a second. So when you do fire, you're gonna be like making something like this. Just kind of a wavy, wiggly line. Except the tops, instead of being round, are gonna be pointy. So I can do the same thing with pointy ends. See? Now it looks like fire. This looks more like goop or something. So it's very easy to actually make fire. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. Now for the coloring.